we'll put them under pressure. The game is about being effective, being aggressive, winning the ball, getting on with the play. We'll put them under pressure.
Philip is wondering what the hell's happened here. Yeah. I know you're wondering. Do you know what's happening here? Is that a cat you got there? Is there a cat in your lap? You sure?
No.
I thought I saw a cat in your lap.
You're seeing things.
I am. I've got. Do you know what, Philip? Do you know what I was doing? I was working today, putting the show together, and on the other monitor, I had Michael Collins' famous speech on it. And I was trying to fit it into the Arsenal game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the one he says, our refusal to bow to anyone? Do you know that bit of the film?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now, I've sort of got that down and a bit of it, and I've put a Tottenham edge to it. So I'm in the middle of rejigging it.
Right.
So yeah. So there you go. That might be. I'm at the moment. I'm actually nearly there with it.
You're still not getting Liam Neeson's part, though.
Oh no, I don't want his part. I tell you, if anyone, that speech would motivate anyone. To be fair,
Yeah.
Philip. Wouldn't
True,
it?
it did.
Now,
It
do
did.
you want to describe to people that don't know the film what that bit is about? He's just come out of prison, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just come out of prison, and there's a general election coming up, and he's getting the RUC, the police, the RIC are watching every word he makes, and he's making this really insightful speech, and the crowd's really getting wound up, you know. And there's guys there with hurleys and cricket bats and everything, you know. Next thing the police come in, and all hell breaks loose. You know, there's the big fight in the middle of the town, and Collins gets a bang on the back of the head, and that's where he meets Kitty Kiernan for the first time. After that,
it is. But she was after that. She was after Harry Boland.
She was.
Well, Harry Boland fancied her, but anyway. But how are you? You've had a bit of an exciting day.
Yeah, I've been on the road all. Yeah, car's fixed, thank God, and been on the road all day now. So I'm literally just home about half an hour ago. So
yeah, but we have a lot of news today, Philip. A lot of Premier League news. The update on the Liverpool manager search as well. We've got that. We've got latest news on a little bit on Daniel Levy and Tottenham. We've got a bit of Tottenham transfer rumours. We've got a bit of rumours as well from other clubs as well. And then you just basically, Philip, we've got a lot to go through. So let's welcome people into the chat. If I bring them up, do you want to read out the comments? Do you want
okay.
If I read them, you read. If I hit them, you read them. I think.
Okay, Tequila is in the house. I am a meat popsicle. You're feeling all right, are you?
Yeah. Apparently, he's just called me a legend because I played the Thanos thing.
No, I think actually you mean you're a legend, not a legend. You're a legend.
Do you know what? I got called a legend on Dave's channel this morning on my pre-match prediction because I did a little bit of Michael Collins in that video. You know? Yeah.
I'll wait for the copyright claims to come in.
I tell you what, Philip, that man will get you going. He would pump you up. That's Ange. That's Ange. Go on.
Well, I hope he is. I hope he is, because this is so important on Sunday now. Really important.
Go on, Carl. There, Carl.
Okay, Carl Simpson up the palace. Right. Okay. Carl Simpson again. Good afternoon, gents. Everyone in the chat.
Yeah. What are we going to say about that up the palace? Sorry, Philip. I didn't mean.
Figure out why. Who are Palace playing this weekend?
Right. There is a thing. We in our gaming group chat. We've all been given clubs from the full football management thing, and I got given West Ham.
Oh, God help you!
But I've been given a transfer budget of 250 million.
Okay.
So my plan is to make West Ham go bust and relegated.
That's the best news I heard all day. That's the best news I heard all day.
That's my plan. Everyone's saying hello to each other. There we go. That one there, Philip.
Now, this one used to rats on his lap and not the animals. What a stud. Can't quite figure that one out.
Oh, dear.
And Carl is saying too much poaching. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. This is the latest poaching I'm on at the moment.
Right. And Danielle Sandoval saying good afternoon. One love. Come on, you Spurs. Yep, absolutely. And Dragon D's Nuts is in. Good day, all. Good day to you as well.
Yeah.
And Tequila again. First time I saw Liam Neeson was in Crawl in 1982 or something. Yeah, that would have been one of his early films. All right. Michael Collins was made in 1995.
Yeah.
So, Colin Cross, afternoon, gang.
Yeah, that's about it. That is about it, Philip. So, let's go through the talking points of what we're going to talk about today. Liverpool looks like it's hit the slot. It's got Spurs' latest news as well, Philip. Premier League news as well, and Premier League transfer rumours. So, let's start on the Liverpool scenario. Liverpool and Feyenoord, Philip. This is the very latest as of about 20 minutes ago. Liverpool and Feyenoord are now close to agreeing on compensation fee for Arne Slot as talks are progressing well. Also today, there are some details to clarify. Then the final green light is expected to arrive soon. Slot going to Liverpool, Philip. Do you think it's a good move for Liverpool, or do you feel that they've missed the boat for not getting Alonso in?
Yeah, I think Alonso would have been a much better fit. I mean, Alonso is Liverpool through and through. He knows the club inside out. Slot's coming in as a complete stranger, basically. And while he's done well at Feyenoord, and I know we were in for him last summer as well, so we can't sort of cast that many aspersions on him. Jurgen Klopp is a hugely difficult act to follow. And I think he's going to have his work cut out. I wish him well in the job. I hope he does well. Well, not that well, but you know what I mean. But I think maybe they'll miss getting Alonso.
Yeah. Do you agree with the Keeler? He says, I would have thought Liverpool expected a bigger name.
Yeah.
If you were a Liverpool fan, Philip, would you be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit
underwhelmed.
That's it. Would you?
Yeah. Yeah. I would, I would actually. Considering who he's following, I mean, I know when we got Angie and we were looking at Slot. I think after Conte, we would have taken nearly anybody. You know what I mean?
Really? Yeah, we would have done. Then we got Carl saying apparently Slot wasn't good enough for Spurs by our fans.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he gets on. He gets on. He's got a team. Yeah. He's got a team at the moment that is very down on its, not down its luck, but morale isn't great there. I mean, watched them the other night there against Everton. They were absolutely awful.
Yeah. Well, what do you put that down to, Philip? Seriously, though, if you're looking at it, do you think Klopp announcing he was going was the beginning, was the catalyst of how they are now?
Yeah, he announced it far too early. He should have waited. I mean, he could have told the team, and okay, it probably would have leaked out. But I think it's like it's a long goodbye, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
When he announced it, they were still in 4 competitions, and everyone's they're going to do a clean sweep. Good luck with that.
The only thing I think, Philip, the only one we can have experience of that was Keith Birkinshaw back in the 80s with his sort of. Was that more of a long goodbye or a short goodbye, Philip? Back then,
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was as long as Klopp. Now I think it was only a few weeks. I think Klopp has what he thought. What he did. He thought he was doing the right thing. I think in hindsight, I mean, it looks very much now as if Liverpool mightn't end up with anything this season.
Well, apart from the League Cup.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, they won the League Cup, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or did they? Oh, yeah. Well,
no, they beat Chelsea. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, they got the League Cup. Fair enough. But I think the Liverpool fans wanted the Champions League, or they wanted the Europa League. They're not getting that. They wanted the title. They're not. Well, they might still get that. They're still in the hunt, but I don't think so. I think Klopp's going to have one trophy in his final season, and I'm surprised there wasn't a bigger attempt to try and make him stay. Yeah, whatever the reason he's going, it must be a fairly serious one.
It must be. But if you're looking at it right, I know we're a Spurs channel and we're Spurs fans, but this is like a Premier League news show as well, so we sort of delve into it a little bit. But if you were looking at it from a Tottenham fan's point of view, where do you think it has gone wrong for them? Because I tipped Liverpool to win the league. You've tipped City to win the league, which I think you're going to probably be right on that, Philip. So where do you think it's gone wrong for Liverpool in their fight for the title? Where do you think, can you pinpoint that's where it went wrong for them? Because they should not have lost to Everton the other night, to be fair.
No. I think they've had injuries. Okay, we've all had injuries. They've had a few injuries and that. They've had maybe a few forms like Devin Nunes. That Nunes guy is. I saw a cartoon of him today. Devin Nunes shooting, and it was a guy driving a truck, and he missed the tunnel, and he hit the side of the wall beside the tunnel. Yeah. And they're trying to say that's like Nunes. He never hits the target,
Jackson's another one like that. He should have scored against Arsenal the other night with the whole goal gaping, and he goes for, where the goalkeeper is.
Yeah, and plus I think the greatest mercenary in British football, Mo Salah, I think he's lost interest.
I think he has, I think you're right.
He'll be gone this summer. He'll be gone to Saudi.
You said that, actually, to be fair to you, Philip, you said that way back in January.
Yeah. Yeah,
You did say that, to be fair now to you.
it's just something about Salah I could never warm to. I don't know what it is. I just felt he was I just don't know. But anyway, saying that, let's hope he doesn't do any damage to us next week when we play them.
That's true. But look, that is the latest on Liverpool's managerial search, but we will give you the latest when that breaks. We hear it here first. The key list says Slot was his second choice. Colin says whoever takes over from Klopp is doomed never to take over from a legend. The key list says it's gonna end up like Moyes with Fergie. It is rare. United have never recovered.
That's the nearest comparison I can think of is following Fergie at United. You know, it was a tough one to follow. You know, and you know we'll see how he does. Like, let's face it, the intensity and the pressure he's going to be under. He's absolutely want to be well prepared for it, because what's happening in Holland, it's a reasonably good league, right?
Yeah.
But the Liverpool fan base is 10 times what Feyenoord's is, and he's going to have to impress them and get them on his side, or else they'll turn very quickly on him if they don't like what they see. He get away with it in Holland, he will not get away with it in Liverpool.
You hit the nail on the head the other night, Philip, and I have to say you've been spot on in the company of your comments the last weeks or so. That if you look at Liverpool, the past when Paisley followed Shankly, Fagan followed Paisley, Kenny, it was all done. Everyone knew it was just promoting from within, isn't it? And
Right.
And I think where United now, Liverpool have failed. They haven't done that.
It was all in-house. They knew exactly what they were getting, and there was no bedding in process. They seamlessly stepped into the job.
Carl says, I did want Slot. I thought he'd be ideal to push us further. Wouldn't change Ange, though. I don't think
I would have. If Slot had come, I would have been quite happy with him to come. You know.
Yeah.
But I think we actually got a better manager than him, so let's not complain.
We got big up to Chris. Chris says, let's hope Arnie Slot's right in.
That's right.
It's already starting now. It's already starting now, the slot machine.
Liverpool will be known as a slot machine from now on, you know.
Yeah. Colin says Emery follows Wenger. And then we've got Chris says Manchester United were left in a mess after Fergie recruitment-wise. And at the top, Liverpool are left in a better state. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Liverpool are probably going to finish maybe runners up or third in the league.
Yeah.
With a trophy. So that's not a bad season. And, you know, I'm hoping they get third. I get second ahead of Arsenal, to be honest, because I don't want Arsenal.
Yeah. We don't want Arsenal winning anything.
No.
Do we? No. I think we made that clear last night in the debate show, Philip.
Did we? Oh, right. Okay.
I'm actually surprised that the guys below, you know, I'm fair play to Mia. She done impartially well last night.
She did most of the time. There was a few points where I had to sort of remind Mia, you're supposed to be impartial, you know.
Yeah.
She did very well, actually.
Yeah, it's when Bobby and Brenny said the North London derby doesn't mean a lot to us.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that.
I'm looking at them going, are you for real?
Like, you know, you're putting Newcastle and Blackburn ahead of the Spurs match. Come on, you know.
Yeah. We've got Michael Edwards, ain't stupid. I think he's director of football, Liverpool. Look who followed Busby, Sexton, O'Farrell, all failed.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's a trend there. There's a trend.
You're too good to be true. Can't take my slot off of you. It's all coming now. It's all coming.
Yeah. But you know, Dermot, talking about following Busby and following Fergie, look what happened to Spurs when Poch left.
Yeah.
They brought in the Garden Gnome. He didn't work. They brought in Conte. He didn't work. Ryan Mason did a couple of stints. Mourinho. You know, we're a walking example of following a decent manager with nothing comparable. So that's where Ange has now booked a trend on that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Also, Terry Neal following Bill Nick.
Yeah. Well, now Bill Nick was that was a mission impossible anyway.
Yeah. Now, Philip, Premier League, this is a bit more news. I can break in this. No names have been brought out to the public eye as of yet, but it is confirmed, and I can confirm it, that multiple parties are interested in the naming rights for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, I'm hearing also, Philip, that Amazon or Musk might not be involved in talks. They may not be in the running, but there is multiple people that want the naming rights. I know it's taken so long to get it done. Are you hopeful that finally we may get some sorted out on the stadium? And what do you want the stadium to be called?
Oh, God. Am I hopeful? I mean, it's 5 years, but 5 years exactly in the stadium last week. And it should have been done by now, to be honest with you. What do I want it called? Well, I mean, if Amazon aren't in it, maybe Google. The Google Stadium doesn't sound right. I think what they should do is they should bite the bullet and they should call it the Google, whatever it is, right? The Google Bill Nicholson Stadium.
Yeah. Would you stick White Hart Lane in there somewhere?
Bill Nicholson's name after it.
Yeah. Or would you call it White Hart Lane?
Oh yeah. Oh, the Google White Hart Lane. I mean, White Hart Lane is synonymous with Tottenham.
Yeah.
And then everywhere you go, you still see the name.
Yeah, exactly. And get called the South Stand after Bill Nicholson.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Well, Bill Nicholson's name has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
and Arthur Road,
the Don Levy stand, the Norman Hunter stand, and all that. You know, we need to do that.
And also South Stand, the Bill Nick stand, the North Stand, the Arthur Rowe stand, the East Stand, Keith Birkinshaw stand.
Or
the Glenn Hoddle stand.
I'm going to show my age here now and say no, Jimmy Greaves stand.
Yeah, spot on. I agree. One of them's got to be called after Jimmy Greaves, Philip. I agree with you. Yeah. But would you have a Glenn Hoddle? Another, if you were to pick another player, Steve Perryman, what would you?
I don't know. Glenn Hoddle, possibly Steve. You have so many good players, and you've only got 4 stands.
Yeah.
So what it maybe do is name maybe parts of the ground. Maybe they're one of the restaurants or one of the bars or something like that. You know, you could name the Jimmy Greaves one of the bars after him if you wanted, because he probably would have been one of his best customers back in the day. You know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do very much. Very much, Mr. Brady. We've got Nuno. Don't forget the legend himself. Yeah. He was a legend for selling garden gnomes. Yeah,
that doesn't sound right, does it?
Yeah. We've got now. He was going to make us proud. Now it's already started, Philip. Look,
Poor
Arena.
Oh, jeez, I don't think so. Somehow.
No. Colin says Bill Nick left and we got relegated a few years after that.
Yeah,
so
3 years later. Yeah.
We've got OnlyFans from the OnlyFans Stadium.
Jesus.
Where we're going with this. Tequila's also go Screwfix Stadium.
Screwfix Stadium, yeah.
I like this one from Colin, Google Lane.
Yeah.
The Google Lane Stadium, I like that.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, it's going to be like the sort of money that Levy will be asking for for the naming rights. It's not going to be your local news agent's going to buy it. It's going to be a massive multinational company.
Yeah. We've got Dragon D Nuts. The toilets can be called the Ange Postico Glue.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah. Very good. Carl says, name the stands Bungle, George, Zippy, and Sue.
Yeah.
No. I knew Carl was bringing this in. I knew he was going to bring this in. Carl Simpson, the Durack Stadium for the team that cannot defend the league.
I could think of another description of that, but I better not. Too early in the day.
Yeah, and what they can do after you've seen the match, there's a bed outside. You can go and lie down and have a cigarette after the game. So there you go. And then we've got Lead. Also, some more Tottenham sort of on the business side of it, Philip. The summer war chest. And this, I've had this confirmed by 2 or 3 different people, Philip. So this is why I'm actually going to go with it. Spurs summer transfer war chest, 200 to 250 million plus sales.
Now we're sucking diesel.
Now, look, I know I can't say in a lot what I know, Philip, and what sort of you know. We can't say because we've both agreed to NDAs, so we cannot say what we know. But I'm going to try to construct a question, Philip, in a way that is going to be a bit sneaky, right? Do you think of what we know and what them lot don't know, but what we know, we are looking very good for the summer transfer window. And for what I've also heard, we're already well ahead of our transfer targets. So for what you know and I know and they don't know, we're really in a good place, aren't we?
I think we've got reason to be as confident and as happy as we've been for a number of years in the transfer market. But there's going to be no last-minute deals here. We're going to get these players in early. We're going to get them in. They're going to be the players that Ange wants, that they're on his shopping list. Okay, we're not going to get them all, because if we don't get Champions League, that may have a thinking in some players' agents' way. But we've already been identified with a few players what we like. We know we need a number 6, a good defensive midfield. That we need a striker and we need a centre back.
Yeah.
But I think that's only the start of it. I think we're going to be getting rid of some of the dead wood. Whether we've talked ad infinitum about the 5 or 6 players that are going to go. Don't forget that money that they get for the likes of Jed Spence and Joe Rodon is going to be added on to that 200 million.
Yeah.
So it could be near a 300 million by the time it's done. And let's face it, that 300 million buys you a title challenging team. And I've said since the start of this season, that is what's going to happen next season. And it's heading that way now.
And also, Philip, if you look at it, look at the players that Gallagher we're in for. 35 to 40 million could get Gallagher from Chelsea. We've got Carl Simpson saying Eze and Olsey are 75% done. I've been told.
Yeah.
But I've got something else on Olsey on tonight. I've been told different news on that, Carl. So just wait. I've got a little bit more different news on that. Who else, Philip, do you think we'll go for? Ivan Toney. I mean, look, let's kick into it. Transfer news: Newcastle are scouting Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher. But 35. Yeah, exactly. Well, today they've announced that their £100 million player, what's his name, Bruno
Guimaraes. Yeah, they sell Guimaraes and bring in Gallagher. That's a swap. That's like for like.
Yeah,
you know,
but he's available for they will his what do you call it, his
window is buyout clause, but it only lasts for 2 weeks.
Yeah, from the end of May to the beginning of June, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's even that long. I think it's at the end of May to 2 weeks, the 15th of June, or something like that.
Yeah, it is. So there's look, 35 to 40 million. Would you put in a 35 million bid now for Gallagher?
We probably wouldn't know it. Seeing as it's Chelsea who hate our guts, I doubt we get him for 35, 40 million. But
Philip, they have to sell. They have to.
But they're not going to sell. What they're going to do is they're going to sell lesser players, maybe at a reduction price, which won't be as noticeable. But if they sell Gallagher at a knockdown price at the start of the transfer window, that's the vultures will start gathering. So Chelsea will be cute. They'll try and get top dollar for Gallagher and sell some of the lesser players off at a knockdown. Gallagher will cost 50 million.
For what I'm hearing, that is what he's 35 to 40 million, and Bowley wants him gone at that price. Bowley wants him gone. Bowley tried selling him.
If he wants, that's fair enough.
And Bowley's not who was there before? The Russian fellow, what's his name?
Abramovich.
Yeah, he wouldn't deal with Tottenham whatsoever, but Bowley will. So, look, you know yourself, Philip, Chelsea are in a shitload of problems.
That's great, isn't
it? It is great, isn't it? And they're sitting with a nearly 300 million man war chest. Brilliant.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. Eze scored a cracker of a goal the other night there against Newcastle.
Dragon D Nuts says, yeah, he is. Gallagher would be a waste of money. I don't agree.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
We've got Carl
Simpson. Gallagher went on loan to Crystal Palace 2 years ago, and he was very, very good.
That's
we should have bought him then.
That's why I took notice of him when he was at Palace. That's when I really started taking notice of him. He's done all right at Chelsea, but I think Palmer sort of taken the limelight off him from his performance as well. He been the next player out as well, Philip. Conor Palmer.
I don't know. Well, he'll be the last to go. They'll try and hold on to him. Yeah. That's for sure.
Khan says, "What the f, Dermo? Do you want to fight? Meet you at sunup." Okay. Tequila
You're
says,
looking for a referee, are you? What's Tequila?
The pistols at dawn, or is it just pissed at dawn? I think it's just missed at dawn. We've got big up to Matthew, big up Comrade Dermot and Comrade Philip. Big up Matthew. And we've got okay. And Cullen Cross, it says, top players at Chelsea are on 8-year contracts at huge salaries. Why would they move? They're going to have to move, Cullen, because Chelsea have to sell players. They cannot cope. They're so bad into FFP. They have to sell, because if they don't sell, they will be charged. And I think there will be points deductions on the way. And big up to the real 7-year Lewis, bringing in three world-class players. Peter, if we are serious about winning the Prem and we can get a keeper for backup too, yeah, that's a very good point as well, Lewis. We need a backup for Vicario. We really, really do. And I totally agree with that. Carl Simpson says, pistols at dawn. Have you been to a Diddy party? I'm not even going down that road. We've got Brian Maguire. There is a CDM at BMG, and he's French. Yeah, I think we might be after him as well, but we have to wait and see. We've got now Tottenham Hotspur are to test water with an Ivan Toney on official bid. Guys, look, what do you think on Ivan Toney? Look, for me, I don't want him at Tottenham. I've said it before and I say it again. I don't want that person at Tottenham. I don't trust him. I don't think he's not a good enough player for me. And I know I suggested also Man United are in for him as well. So if he wants to go to Man United, let him. Absolutely let him. But I do not want Ivan Toney at my football club. I said it last night. The likes of Tony Adams or Paul Merson or Tony Adams, he had his problem with drink. You can forgive him for that, because he would try to, and he's tried to make good. And Tony, I've read his book, Tony Adams, and I think he's an inspirational character in some ways. But Ivan Toney, for his gambling, betting against his own side, how do you know that he isn't doing that to us if we're losing 1-0? It's something in the back of our heads going, did Ivan Toney, has he betted against us? Or is that because his reputation is preceding him? And for me, I just don't. Look, maybe it is a bit more reputation precedes the player. But for me, I don't want him. I don't think he's a good enough striker anyway. And he made all this bullshit about, he's Prem ready and he knows how to play in the Premier League. What, he could come to Tottenham and been absolutely shite. Richarlison was Prem ready, but Richarlison hasn't really, hit the ground running, has he? To be fair, and we paid 60 million for him. So, to mean for me, I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see what the people are saying. Tequila's saying no to Toney, but Tequila go no. Carl Simpson says Dermo released it in a Piers Morgan. Yeah, he's an idiot as well, by the way. Him and Rashford would have fun out. Yeah, they would do, actually. Dragon says I would take Toney. Interesting. Very interesting. Matthew saying, say no to the attitude merchant, Piven donkey. I know, come on now. We may not want them, but let's stop name calling now. It's a bit not fair, Matthew. But I take your point. Don't need to bet on us. We can bollocks it up on our own. That is so true. Tequila says he doesn't carry himself well in press, Dermo. It's not about his talent, really. I suppose that there's a sort of you gotta have a sort of presence when you're at Tottenham. You gotta have a sort of decorum or certain sort of way you handle yourself when you're at Tottenham. And I agree with you. I don't think he carries himself well in the press. But for the money that Brentford want from him, it's a bit like the Reina thing last summer. He's not worth what Brentford want from him, in my view. He really isn't. Did Toney bet against Brentford or bet another game? Do you know what? I'm not absolutely 100% sure, but I think he did bet against Brentford in one game. do you know what? I may be up to correction. Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know. But let me know in that. Rashford is up for sale, apparently. I have asked a question on that, Carl. I'm waiting for a response on that. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know, sir. We've got Lewis here saying Tony not good enough, doesn't suit our style. Why pay 80 million for a 30 million pound? That's my point. That is my point. I don't think he is worth 80 million. It's transfers fees have been overinflated because now players will go for 90 or 100 million, where these players will be going for 30 or 40 million. So he's not worth 80 million. He's not even worth 100 million. For me, he's not a striker I want at Tottenham. And he's not the player to replace Harry Kane. I really don't think he is. Matthew said he is so much full of attitude, Dermot. It literally disrespects his own club multiple times. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. How much do you think Calvin Lewis at Everton will cost? Do you think he's good enough for Spurs then? Second question, yes, I think he is good enough for Spurs. I like him as a player. I think he would suit into an Ange system very well, in my opinion. And I like what I've seen of him this season with Everton. How much would he cost? You know, who knows? Transfer, who knows? If Everton are financially strapped as they were, they probably want the best possible transfer deal they can get. But yeah, I would have him at Spurs tomorrow. If he was available, yeah, I would too. Matthew, give me Rashford. Yes. Matthew going, Rashford. Yeah, I tell you one thing. I think Ange would do a job with Marcus Rashford. I really do. I'm going to love to see what Philip thinks, but I think he will do a good job on Rashford. We've got Dragon D Nuts. I bet if he bet against Brentford, he wouldn't still be playing for them. Look, I don't know. Did Tony? What the hell happened there?
What?
Never mind. Had a bit of feedback. Sorry. Did Ivan Tony? Do you know when he got banned for betting for his gambling? Did he ever bet against Brentford?
I wouldn't think so.
I heard somewhere he did.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If he did, I doubt he would have played for Brentford. You know, they wouldn't have took him back, as Dragon is saying there. You know.
Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur are to test the waters with an Ivan Toney unofficial bid, Philip. Yeah or nay?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm weighing on no.
Yeah.
I'm weighing on no. I don't think he's our style of centre forward. Plus, he's 28, 29. He should be getting younger players in, you know?
Yeah. A lot of people saying go from Rashford. Would you go for Rashford? I think I would. Danch might do a job with him.
Something. I think a change of club might do Rashford a lot of. I think he's staying at Manchester United. He's completely overstayed his welcome there. And I'd say I wouldn't say no to him. He's a proven goal scorer, you know?
Yeah. Carl Simpson, I actually think we will see a drop in prices. I was saying that transfer fees seem to be overinflated at the moment, Philip. A lot of players, like you look at the Reina deal, looking for 40 million. Brentford are looking for 100 million for Tony, where he's only probably a 30, 40 million pound player. Do you think Carl is right? We will see a drop in prices, or do you think it will just go more and more till it goes bang?
Until they rein in the agents, the prices won't come down. Now, the agents' commission has been capped, I think, now, so which may have an effect on us. But football's got to realise the money will not last forever. They're going to have to come up with realistic transfer prices, or else clubs are going to go to the wall. You know, especially the lower league clubs, because they're not getting their players aren't being bought up by the Premiership teams as much as they used to be years gone by.
And there's no deal between the Premier League and the EFL, so there's no money dropping down through the pyramid.
No,
at the moment. And do you know where it used to be, Philip? So look, do you think the Premier League? I'll ask you this. I think it's true, and I'm starting to believe. Personally, this is what I believe, that the Premier League is getting too big for its boots. that the Premier League is bigger than what it should be?
The Premier League is only as good as the sum of the parts of the teams that make up the Premier League, right? So if you've got teams like Manchester City openly flouting the rules and getting away with it, then yes, it is getting too big for its boots by not reining them in and bringing them to heel for what they've done. I think the fact that we're all rooting for the likes of Luton Town to stay up, that's the real story this season. I think it's, you know, rooting for the underdog, and the FA are not. What they've done is they've penalised the underdog by Everton and Nottingham Forest, right? Because they're easy targets. And the FA needs to grow a pair and do something about Manchester City and Chelsea. Then they'll go up in my estimations. But yeah, you could be right. They could be just getting, you know, look at they're one of the biggest money generating leagues in the world, if not the biggest. And money talks.
It does. Philip, if you were going to say which is the best league in Europe right now, in your opinion?
Oh, it's a Premiership.
See, I don't agree. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you on that.
What do you think's better?
You look at La Liga. The football's better. I think the football is far better in La Liga. I think Serie A is a good league as well, and I think the Bundesliga is a good league.
No, I don't know. Bundesliga has improved, but I think, you know, the Premiership is renowned as being the toughest league in Europe.
Yeah, but
although, do you know what I think is the best league in Europe? Not the toughest, the best. Well, maybe this is the toughest. The best league in Europe, the one I enjoyed more than the Premiership nearly, is the Championship in England.
Yeah.
You've got 46 matches. You've got QPR playing Leeds tonight, one of the biggest games of the season. There's some brilliant matches in the in the Championship because it's so competitive. You know.
I've got a bit of breaking news, Philip. Ireland have announced a new manager.
You're joking, of course.
Yeah, it's an interim manager. John O'Shea's got the 2 gigs in June.
Yeah, well, that was going to happen. That was always going to happen. Yeah,
we all know he's going to get the full-time job. Can they just give it to him? Just put us all out of our misery. Can't remember any player other than Ronaldo leaving United and getting better. So it's a no from me from Rashford.
Yeah, well, that's true. You know, you never know how to react. Hey, he needs a new club, though, I think.
Matthew says, I need Rashford. He is an Ange type of player and not a clown hag.
Yeah, well, there you are. That's another opinion, isn't it? Yeah.
It was against Newcastle. It's whatever Ange wants, Carl is saying. We've got Joe Pedro at Brighton is worth a look. He's keeping Richie out of the Brazilian team. He's not doing too bad at Brentford, actually. Brighton
has this habit of picking up those players that nobody's ever heard of and making real good players of them.
I've always wanted Lampy at Tottenham. I think Lampy's a great little fullback, wing back. He'd be a great backup.
Lampy, yeah, he is good. He is good. Yeah. We were looking at him a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, we're back. Matthew says Colin Gross. Colin Gross. You can't compare Rashford to the greatest of all time. Gotta go. Yeah. See you later, Carl. We'll be back on with the Arsenal boys in an hour or so. Take care. We've got smash the like and subscribe, everyone. Lewis is saying prices for forwards will always rise because this generation of forward good ones are limited than in the past generations. He may be right in that, Philip, in one way. Matthew's going Serie A is better than the Premier League. We've got Colin, Matthew, totally agree. Dermo, if you say the League of Ireland, we are done.
Yeah. No,
the League of Ireland, I think, is just there, in the top 50, Philip?
Yeah, probably. Some good games, and they're getting good crowds as well, but quality-wise now wouldn't be great.
Still the Premier League for me, says Carl. Problem with the Premier is, man, shitty. Take these douches out, and it's the best league. That's true. The Australian A-League, says Dragon D Nuts, is the best league. I tell you one thing, I wouldn't say that. I've watched some of that stuff on one of these sort of new channels that shows like MLS and that. The MLS isn't a bad league either, Philip. Some good games in there.
I've never actually seen it, so I'm afraid.
Yeah, agree, Philip. I watch Cardiff, £10 a game, well worth it. There you go.
All right.
Matt, so go on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to leave you there. Something's after cropping up here.
Okay, fine.
Sorry about that. Listen, I'll
No,
see you
it's
later
okay.
on, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
sorry.
Speak to you later.
This is something I need to deal with before close of business, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'll
Philip.
see you
All
later.
right. Take
See you
care.
later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye. We've got Colin Cross. Rashford is still young. I guess he can do a job for us. Yeah, that's true. What are you doing tonight with the Arsenal boys, Dermo? That's Sandy, but we're going on to their pre-match show for an hour or so. So that is what we're doing tonight. Oh yes, the Arsenal on Sunday. Tell you what, the championship is damn exciting. It's really exciting this year as well, guys. What we got now, we have this little bit of a nugget who might be coming to Tottenham. Former Arsenal winger Serge Gnabry could be subject to interest from Tottenham, with Bayern Munich willing to sell the 28-year-old in the summer. So look, that wouldn't be a bad bad either. Yay or nay in the chat for that. Put the link in the chat, Dermo, if you please. And the link. Okay, I put the link in. If you're going to come on and behave. That's what I want to know. Are you coming on and behaving? There you go. The link is now in. So let us know. Yeah or nay for the former Arsenal winger, Serge Gnabry. Yeah or nay? I think a yay for me. Now, this was it here. Olsey wants a United move. Now, I know Carl was saying about him being 75% done for Tottenham. I am hearing, what I was told today was Olsen wants a United move. Now, you've got to look at the two different projects for me. If you're going to look at the United project, you don't know who their manager is going to be. You don't know what players they're going to bring in. But if you look at Tottenham, the way Ange has his plans already set out for the summer, you can see where Ange is going with Tottenham. And I think if you were going to United, it would be a very, very bad move in my point of view, because you don't know what's going on with Ten Hag, if he's staying or going or what's happening there. You don't know what they're going to do in the summer, if they have to sell a rake of players. Are United going to be a team that isn't ready to fight for Champions League? Are they just going to be fighting for the Europa League or the Conference League next season? And here's trouble. Hello.
How are we doing, Dermo?
Not too bad, Tequila. How are we doing, sir?
Not bad. First time actually talking with you. Live.
It is, and not a rainbow in sight.
Not a rainbow in sight. And just like me, I am way too ugly to come on camera.
No, you're not. I know you're not. I reckon you're the Brad Pitt of the Spurs community. On
here. Yeah. That's why I'm on the internet all the time, Dermo, because I'm Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, you're really Brad Pitt. Oh, good man yourself. Also, once United move, do you agree with what I was saying? Sort of thing that if you were looking at the two projects, Tequila, you more likely go to Tottenham because you don't know what United's going to do in the summer, do you? Really, it's sort of potluck if you're going to go there for next season.
The only thing about United though is that even though like Colm, who I like you, he's like, and he hates what's going on in United. They won the League Cup last year, Dermo. They got and they're in 2 cup finals this year.
Yeah.
So it's just like you got to look at that. So if you're a player, as much as you think Spurs are more on the up, United are still competing for silverware, even though in the league they're doing worse than us. It's not as easy. It's not easy, is it?
It's not. And look, what's going to happen with Ten Hag? Do you think he's going to stay? Do you think he's going to go? What do you think he's going? I reckon he'd be there next season. Personally, my own opinion.
Well, you remember when Enoch took over, right? And George Graham was. And they quickly got rid of him and put in Hoddle. Whenever they have these big kind of change of ownerships, and Bowley did the same thing with Tuchel. They seem to want their own man in, don't they?
They do.
I reckon that he will be gone in the summer. Even if he ends up winning the FA Cup, I could still see him being going because Ratcliffe will want his own man, whoever that is, put in charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So what do you reckon, Elsie? Where do you reckon he'll end up? Do you reckon he'll stay at Palace, go to Spurs, or would he be at United by the start of next season?
I think maybe there's a little bit more certainty with Spurs, but I could see him doing both. Do you know what I mean? Either one wouldn't be that shocking.
I reckon so, Tequila. And then this one for the former Arsenal winger, Serge Gnabry, could be a subject to interest from Tottenham, with Bayern Munich willing to sell the 28-year-old. Now, we've got a few people in the chat. Colin Cross is saying Gnabry's too old for Ange now. I prefer Bayern's number 9, says Dragon Dean Nuts. I think we all prefer Bayern's number 9, to be fair. Brian is saying, I think Sane is better. And Matthew says, I want Gallagher. So let's start on Gnabry. Yeah or nay for you?
I think just like you said with Ivan Toney, I think it was somebody in the chat. Do you want these 29-year-olds? It's not the Tottenham model. It never has been really. Normally we go for 23 and younger. That seems to be the highest we go for. 23 and younger. So there's got the sell on. If you buy Toney for 18 million, which I think would be crazy, Levy's going to know there's no sell on probably with Toney ever. It's going to be the same with this dude.
Yeah. So would you go for, look, if you are going to go for an experienced player, would you go more likely for Sane? For Sane more than him? I think who said Sane? Brian Maguire's spot on. I think that Sane is a better player.
I think I agree with Brian as well. Yeah, that makes a bit sense.
Yeah, it does. And do you know, with this war chest we've got 200 to 250 million plus player sales, you're looking at the likes of probably Højbjerg going, which I hope he doesn't, but I think he will be. So you're going to look around 300 million to buy new players. How does that make you feel as a Spurs fan? For years and years and years, Levy has not rarely pushed the boat out when it comes to transfers. But suddenly Ange comes there and we're getting the naming rights sorted out. There's rumours that there could be investment coming in as well. And then we've got nearly 300 million.
Let me ask you a question, Dermo.
Yeah.
Let's say, for argument's sake, that we've got 300 after all of this. Do you go free top, tippity top 100 million players, which sounds crazy a little bit considering our history, but do you do that? Or do you say, no, we'll spend it and we'll get 6 players around the 50 million mark? What would you do? Would you say the 3 tippity top or the 6 maybe slightly younger, maybe not quite the finished article, but with tons and tons of potential? What do you do?
Personally, I buy 1 top player.
Right.
Say
so
for
a bit
100.
Of
yeah, say top player for 150 million, and then the rest on great potential, great young players, a bit like a Destiny, a bit like a Destiny or Pyro and the Van de Ven type players. That's what I would do. What would you do?
Well, there is these kind of not unhidden gems, because they're gems from other teams, like the Leeds lads, Archie Gray. Is that his name?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
he would probably cost, you'd think, probably in that 50 million bracket. It is a punt, but I think maybe 3 or 4 of them, and then, like you said, maybe 1 or 2 tippity top.
Yeah,
or maybe 4 players. So maybe you go 2 tippity top, which takes 200 million. I can't see Levy doing it, but let's say he did.
No.
And then the other 100 million, you'd buy 2, not unknown prospects, because they're 15 million players, right? So players who are kind of proven but younger. That would be 4 players. If we brought in 4 players, 2 of them being world class in quotations, and 2 really high potential players, would you be happy with that?
I would. And then you got the youngsters then from the under 21s to come through as well.
Yeah.
So you start adding them to the mix. We need to streamline the squad. I think we need an overhaul with the squad. There's a few players that need to leave, but I am so excited about next season. It's like I can see where we're going, and with all the news that I do know that I can't say at the moment, once I can get the green light, you'll be the first to know, guys. But we are really in a good place. We are really, really in a good place. It's so exciting. It's like, who's this Tottenham? I haven't seen this club before. It's great. I mean, Lewis is saying also, Tequila here, League Cups and FA Cups are priority for Man United. They know they are not good enough. They know they're not good enough for Arsenal's rejects. No Arsenal rejects.
Yeah,
so he's saying
he doesn't want any Arsenal players.
No, it doesn't want any Gambry. And do you think he's right? I think he's spot on when he says their priority was the League Cup and the FA Cup this season.
I don't know if it was the priority. I mean, look at them last year, right? They won the League Cup last year. This is United, obviously.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of thought, including their fans probably, or at least a lot of their fans, I'm not going to say all their fans, like they were going to push on this year, right? They were going to be, not that they were going to win the title, but at least they would be contending, right? And of course, now they find themselves, the best they're going to get is going to be Europa League. So I don't know if it's the pro. I mean, I don't follow United just like you do. You'd have to ask somebody like Cole what their fans are really thinking. But I remember, like, before the season started, Man United were going to be, apparently they were going to be fighting for the title. And of course, right. Do you remember the first couple of games? And they got spanked the first couple of games, and then quickly it was all over.
Hang on. Did we spank them as well? Let me think. Yeah, we did. Of course we did.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yes. One thing since I've started this channel, I've had to watch a lot more Premier League games than I used to. Because where I used to watch only Tottenham, I'm now got to watch more Premier League games to get everyone sort of print. Yeah, and it's really enjoyable because it gives you a different prospect on football, and it also gives you a different prospect on the Premier League itself. And you look at other clubs and where you're not you're not 100% just looking at Tottenham. You can look at it from outside looking in, if you know what I'm getting at. And you're thinking, do you know what? Spurs ain't that bad. There's other clubs a lot worse than us. Definitely. And considering where we were last season under Conte, this is a marks in 100% better Spurs team than we were then. Now, Morgan Gibbs Wright Tequila welcomes recent links to Spurs and moved to a team that are moving forward is fantastic, obviously. However, I'm currently contracted to Nottingham Forest, but we will see what happens in the summer. Do you think this is a transfer that is this one of your not top players, but this is one of your 50 million type players?
Yeah. And a lot's going to depend if they get relegated. If they get relegated, you know that he's more or less definitely gone because they will sell him. If they don't get relegated and they just about get away with it and Luton go down instead, then going to be much harder, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if 50, 40, maybe just under 50. What do you think of the price?
35?
Yeah. I think if they said right now. They said right now 35, just like for Gallagher, I'd probably say, yeah, right.
Yeah. I think Gallagher will go for 35 because Chelsea have to sell him. I don't think they're in any way, shape, or form they're in a place to demand what they want. They're going to have to take what
is he still their captain, though, Dermo?
No, he's not. Chilwell's is it Chidwell? Oh, okay. Is their captain? Then he's their assistant captain. But look, I like Gallagher. I think we should have got him when he was at Crystal Palace, personally.
Yeah. Boris Brits just said there. Yeah, and he's got a point. Forest have got their own FFP problems, haven't they?
Yeah.
So maybe they have. Yeah.
They are appealing it. I think we're going to hear the appeals from Everton and Nottingham Forest by the end of next week. So that could change the bottom tree again. Now, Everton could get harder with a further 2 points on top of what they're already appealing. So their win against Liverpool really could mean nothing. Well, it means everything because they've stopped probably Liverpool winning the league. But they could be still in a relegation fight for me. I still think Everton could go down, you know. I think there's more twists and turns in that relegation battle.
You know what, Dermo, though? You know that Luton, if Luton end up going down and Forest and Everton both survive, Luton are going to go to court. Luton are going to go to court saying that we should not have been relegated, that the point should have been half. So you know that they're going to be all over that shit, man. Excuse my language.
No, you're grand. Big up to El Cockerell. Good afternoon. All smash up the likes for Dermot. Thank you so much, El Cockerell. Get over to his channel and hit the like and subscription there. Now, Manchester United, a bit of news from Old Trafford. Raphael Varane and Anthony Martial will leave Man United as free agents.
Would you take either Dermo at Spurs?
Oh, I was going to ask you. Would you?
Not Martial. No, not Martial. No.
Yeah,
no.
I would. I would.
I think.
Pick him.
You know what? I would. Yeah, I'll take Varane. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, as a squad player, I would. And then Colin Cross has put a good point here. I think Kyle Walker would be a great signing for us, experience, and would be great for us. I'd love to see him back at Tottenham, Kyle
Would
Walker.
Would you take him back, Dermo? You would.
I would. I wish we never sold him. I just wish he wanted to go. I know, but his experience of winning, that winning mentality, he's been there. He's done it. Imagine getting players that have won stuff within the squad. That makes the rest of the team hungry. I want what he's had.
Would he fit the Ange system with the inverted fullbacks, though?
I think he would. I think Kyle Walker would, personally. Maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, he would. Do you think so or not?
Dragon D's nuts are saying that he'd take Walker back.
Yeah.
Would you take him back for just a 1 year, or like a rolling 1 year contract? You wouldn't give him a year.
I would give him I do that, a rolling contract.
Yeah,
I would do that. Right, but very good linking from Kyle Walker, Colin, on to our next subject. That was brilliantly done, Colin. You must be like, give me the lottery numbers, sir. Give me the lottery numbers. Because Premier League CEO Richard Masters that the hearing into Manchester City 115 charges will take place in the near future.
Yeah, okay.
Is that in the summer? I mean, if it is in the summer, do you think they might do it in the summer? And then, right, let's get this done out of the way before the start of next season.
Well, I mean, Lewis makes a good point here, and these deductions, they shouldn't be done halfway through the season, should they?
No, they shouldn't. They should be done at the end of the season, and what they should be done is they should be done before the end of the season. Yeah. So as soon as the Sunday night, I think the season finishes when? On the 19th of May.
Yeah.
On the 19th of May, that evening, then the Premier League, right, bang, 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 bang. But this, for me, Tequila, should have been sorted out months ago, if not a year ago. Because Man City could be under potential to do the double. And it makes a mockery out of the Premier League.
It really devalues them. That's why I said in one of my earlier comments, I do like the Premier League, but what I hate is Man City. You take them out of the Premier League, and I think it's a no-brainer, me personally. But because they win it every year, and it's boring, and they don't even do it fairly, and the Premiership seems to me like they're scared to kind of charge them with it now because it's going to devalue everything they've done because they've been so bloody dominant from nearly every year. It tarnishes the whole league, and they're scared of that, obviously.
Yeah. So where are you going with this now? Do you think it will be done in the summer, or do you think it'll be done next year? When do you think they have to do it? Me personally, I think they need to do it at the end of the season.
Yeah, it should. It should. Keyword is should. It should be done at the end of the season. Will it? Please, when I see it, I've got to be honest.
And if they do the problem is what I've been told, and what I've done a bit of digging into this, and we spoke to our great source as well, and he's done a bit of digging, and the people that I talk to, the EFL don't want to take Man City in the league. The Premier League will have to knock them out of the Premier League. It's the only way. If they're found guilty of any of them charges, then they've got to be demoted. The EFL don't want them demoted because I think that somewhere along the line, the EFL then can be done then for I forget what it was. I think it was you that put it in the chat yesterday or the day before. And then do you stick them in non-league? Then Man City will appeal that. And then you've also got the teams that are going up from the Championship. Say they get put into League 2. So you've got a team going up from League 2 to League 1 to take their place. A team from League 1 into the Championship to take the team that's gone up from League 1. And then you've got the team to go, an extra team going from the Championship into the Premier League. The League 1 team replaces them. So nobody knows, and nobody's been able to get set and ready for the new season because this is hanging over their heads. This should have been dealt with months ago. It's ridiculous.
How far would you punish them, Dermo? Let's assume they're found guilty for most of these 115. What would you do? Would you how far down would you put them? Just to the championship, or would you say, you know what, we're going to actually make it worse? We're going to put you to League One or something. What would that do to the leagues?
Personally, myself, I would knock them down to League One because I think that's a fair enough punishment. I mean, you had Rangers back in, I think it was 3 years. Where was the Rangers?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Down? But Scottish FA had to rewrite the constitution of their football laws to stop Rangers going out of business. Now, if Man City get demoted to League One, do their owners stick around? Possibly not. They'll be looking for another Premier League team to take over. Does Pep Guardiola stick around? Possibly not. He's not going to want.
He won't.
No. Will all the players want to stick around? Will a De Bruyne, will players like that want to stick around? Possibly not. So, I think if you put them in League One, then they're going to get all these other domino effects. I think that's going to be a bigger punishment for them than what any financial punishment would do. So I think that's what you've got to do. You've got to make an example out of them.
I mean, if you look at the chat, Dermo, there's a bunch of different ideas. There's a bunch of different ideas, and
yeah. I mean, let's start with Colin. Colin says Leicester promoted and get points ban straight away. I think that's ridiculous, but look, that's not my thing. We've got big up to Lewis. It says Man City are hoping that the stature of limitations kicking at some of these charges. Am I right to say, Tequila, that there's no statutes of limitations on this? That they won't. I don't think. Am I right to say that they're not gonna? They will be charged for 115. There's no. Oh, we can knock
I'm
that
not.
off.
I'm not exactly sure myself. They're going to be. We'll have to wait and see on that one. 150. Yeah. I mean, 115 charges. Somebody said that. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat a sec. Somebody said they should be kicked out completely to non-league.
Yeah.
Would that be just crazy? Would that be too crazy a thing? Or when you think about it, 115 charges, you'd have to give them the biggest punishment that there could be.
You do. I think you do, Tequila. I think you've got to give them the biggest punishment that's going. That's legally, that the Premier League know that even if they appeal it, it's going to stick. They should strip the ownership like Chelsea. I agree with that as well. I totally agree with that. But I think where the Premier League failed with Chelsea was they should have said, right, kick Chelsea out the league. Kick them out the Premier League. Put them back down to League Two. And I think they should have done. I don't know what you thought around that time as well. The way Abramovich was rightly stripped of his assets, rightly so as well. And I feel Chelsea got away with it. It's like the Premier League. Do you know what, lads? Don't worry, we'll keep you in the league. We'll give you enough time to buy somebody. That should have been said, right, we're going to kick you out the Premier League, and then you come back up when you can run your club properly. Well, they have to do the same with Man City.
With Chelsea, I mean, the government got involved with Chelsea, didn't they? The government had to get involved in that, obviously, because of the war. So would they have to step in again with regards to Manchester City? Is that what would have to happen? To be given the power to do that?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to, but I don't want government involved in our game.
Well, yeah.
Because you know what's going to happen if they get that. They're looking to get their claws into it already. So whatever's we should be very worried if the government get involved in the Premier League and the British game. Then we're all kind of knackered. Collins says, Luton got kicked out the league. They did get, and Brian as well. I think this. I think this is comment off the stream for me, for Brian. I would send them down to non-league, and you're the Premier League, Tequila. You're there with the charges. What would you do? You've heard what I would do. What would you do?
if you send them down to non-league, I'm responding kind of in a question, Dermo. If you send them down to non-league, do you take away all their titles as well? Do you? I mean, I said so. You know, you give it to Liverpool multiple times now because obviously they've been runner up so many times. Do you do that as well, or is it just they keep the titles and then they just go to non-league, or do you take them as well?
You strip them of everything, in my view.
Ooh.
Because they have won them titles on false pretenses.
Yeah.
You can't have 115 charges without knocking them out of the Premier League. And if the owners stay, what's that going to do to them? Or let's just play the players the same amount of money. We'll be back up in the Premier League in 3 years.
Well, that's the thing I was about to say, that you take him out of the non-league and assuming that the owners decide to kind of stay on, then they're going to get back-to-back promotions. They will. Of course they will. So they will be back in as you said, 3 or 4 seasons. Is that enough?
Yeah, I would strip their titles as well. Make an example of them. And I'm sure there's going to be Man City fans watching this and this is cursing us, Tequila. Absolutely turking it. But we don't care. We speak the truth on this channel. We speak how we feel. And you look at, I always say, I don't know if you watched that documentary on YouTube, The Biggest Football Scandal, I think it's called. And you just look, UEFA had the balls in their hands and they were squeezing them. To Man City said, there's a few brown paper bags and they let go.
I mean, if I'm the Premier League, I'm analysing, and this is what I think why they've been digging their heels in for so long. I'm analysing the kind of collateral damage of stripping their titles away. It will damage the league, but you know, damage can be repaired. It will take a hit, but it can rebound. They're scared to do so, but I think in the end they're going to have to just put their foot down. They'll save a bit of face, of course. It will damage the league for a little while, but everything can be repaired. Yeah, give it a couple of years and get different winners, and it will reestablish itself.
I agree. And you look at Serie A. I mean, you and me are old enough to remember the corruption in Serie A back in the day. And you look at Juventus getting down to Serie B and having their title stripped off them, and it didn't do much damage. It did a little bit of damage to Serie A, but I think they're sort of getting their back as one of the best leagues in Europe. So I think they had the balls and they stopped by it, and they did it. They had the balls to do it.
Yeah, and you know, and with Napoli obviously having that great season as well, and you know, and them winning after so many years of being out of it has rejuvenated it a bit as well, hasn't it? Because it was a different winner and stuff like that. So, I mean, taking City out, like I say, they've won it, 6 of the last 7 years, is it?
Yeah, they have,
That will freshen things up, especially with Klopp leaving. So, Liverpool are going to be maybe slightly weaker. Man United, obviously, are about to have a new era, I suppose. Chelsea, we don't know about. But, like, next year, for example, you could have properly 4 or 5 teams all in and around very evenly matched, fighting for the title rather than having this super team. So I personally would love it to happen because I think the league would be more exciting, but it's handing over the titles to whoever got second place all those times, be it Liverpool and stuff like that. It will be a little bit of a farce in that way, but what can you do? It has to be done. It has to be.
So if Chelsea got stripped of titles, we'll win a Premier League. And if Man City gets stripped, 2 League Cups will be coming our way. We've got Wembley one afternoon, boys. If found guilty, City should be relegated to the National League One North, 5 levels down. Jesus, I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of you, Wembley one. Boris Brett says, I think Rangers and City are 2 completely different teams, and if they do get relegated, that low no team will go against them. They will just forfeit their games against City so they don't get embarrassed. Maybe so. We've got the real Yed Lewis said kicking out Man City or Liverpool, Arsenal or Man United will only increase the chances of the Super League. Very quickly before because I have to jump onto the other stream soon, but very quickly, Tequila, I think Lewis has hit the nail on the head. The Premier League have to have that in their thinking as well. With the Super League hasn't gone away. It's still there. It's still in the background. What do you do then? And so they've really got to make a decision, haven't they, and stick to it.
They do. They do. They've got to show strength, but also, I mean, I understand what Lewis is saying, and he's right. It probably will make it a bit more likely, but again, you have to remember the amount of bloody fans. we for all our little rivalries. One thing that we all have in common is that when they announce that Super League, every kind of big club, the top 6, all of the fans. I didn't hear anyone who was for this Super League. Did you?
No, I did. And I think it was around the time we were just all starting to do our YouTube channels as well.
Well, yeah. So I think the fans wouldn't stand for it. And I think the fans would come out in droves again if they were going to do it. And even if City do go, there's still going to be 5 other teams and some of the other teams who are going to be, no, we don't want this. So I think the fans would all come out again and it would be the same thing, that fans wouldn't let it.
Yeah. If Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United want to go, let them. There's 5 teams in the Championship who will take their place willingly and say, thank you very much. We are now an established Premier League team. To be fair, there's always teams to take to take their places. So if they want to go. Just Tottenham won't be a part of that. I know they won't be. By Maguire, strip them of their titles as it's cheating. Plus, Spurs should get a trophy. We got cheated in. Yeah, we might pick up a couple actually. That'd be good for That'd be good for Daniel Levy.
We'll get a League Cup for sure, won't we? After City beat us the other year.
Yeah, well, that would be 3 trophies in 26 years. Fair play to Daniel. That's doing well. He's getting up there. Dragon D nuts. Most of the players would leave. They wouldn't want to waste years at the careers in lower leagues. That is true. Big up to Mr. Wayne Bonner. Damn, you're still alive for not one.
Big up, Wayne.
Big up, Wayne. Not for much longer, though. Sorry, Wayne. You can watch it in the watch back. You're still alive. Touch. How's it going, everyone? I'm grand. Tequila is just grand. He's chilling with me talking football, which we love talking about, by the way. Dragon D Nuts says Pep would go to Liverpool. I agree with that. And also he says it would only be City that goes. Let them be in the Super League's problem. Exactly. Absolutely. Exactly.
Why not?
We're going to end in this bit of breaking news as well. Tequila from Tottenham. The first bit of breaking news that I got today, which I can confirm this is true, that no names have been brought out to the public eye, into the public eye as of yet, but it is confirmed that multiple parties are interested in the naming rights for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is great news for us. And
let the highest bidder get there, mate. Let them all bid against each other, like on eBay. Come on.
Yeah, and also I've had this confirmed by 3 different sources that I use. The summer transfer war chest and the other one I've got it confirmed as well works very high in football as well. And I know him very well. I think you know him as well, Tequila. We're saying no more. And the 200 to 250 million plus sales. So you're looking around 300 million for Ange to buy players in the summer. I know a lot more what's going on. And I can't say anything, as you realise, because of NDAs. And it is very frustrating for me. But by Jesus, we're in such a good place at the moment. We really are, Tequila.
I hope Levy really backs Ange, not only in the money, but also the freedom to buy the players he wants. That's the most important thing for me. Yeah. I don't want these club signings. I want Ange signings. Let Ange choose, then that's it.
Exactly. Tequila, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you're coming on to the fan show on tomorrow evening. So I'm looking forward to having you there.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Where can people find you, sir?
I am on the playpouch.com. It is not a Spurs channel. It is a gaming channel. And we just do podcasts. Just had our last show get completely ruined because of a technological problem. So we have to take it again. The woes of being a YouTuber, eh?
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah.
I know. But please, everyone go there. It's a great channel. I enjoy watching it. And I love, Tequila, what you and your buddies over there doing. We're going to have to do a joint podcast, me and Colin and you and a few of your friends over there with the new EA F1 games coming out as well. So we're all getting that. I need to add you into the group chat we've got as well. We've got a double dumb gaming group chat. So we need to add you into that.
Go for it.
Add you into that as well. And we need to get Carl's in there. So get I think Carl. I make Carl a mod, so Carl will be able to add you in. But yeah, thank you so much, Tequila, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a bit of a chat to Mrs. Tron. She's looking at me with frying pan in one hand and a sweeping brush in the other. So I don't know if she wants me to cook dinner or sweep the floor.
Well, that frying pan's going to be over your head soon if you don't leave there, mate.
Yeah, I know. I've got, that is so true. But I am on at 7 with Bobby and Brenny, me and Philip as we go to the dark side. So please come over and give us a bit of support if you can. Come on, you Spurs and Big Andrew, we trust.
Take care, guys.